there's a story in the Bible. In fact, there's lots of stories in the Bible. If you've never read the Bible, there's lots of stories in the Bible. And the stories are oftentimes metaphors and analogies to life back then that are current to today, apply to today too. See, there's a story in the Bible. It's the story of Peter and Jesus. Peter was called as a disciple of Jesus, and Peter in the Bible says, I will never deny you. Jesus, I love you so much. And Jesus challenged him and said, when the going gets tough, Peter, you're going to deny me. And Peter's like, there's no way I would ever deny you. Well, then later on in the Bible, it talks about Jesus was apprehended essentially by the Pharisees, and he was going, this was like the last days before crucifixion. And it says that Peter, who was with him when he was arrested, when Jesus was arrested, started to linger back in the scene and follow to watch as Jesus was taken. And then he sat down with other people around this fire, and people started to recognize that he was a disciple of Jesus. Now, they started to ask him, hey, you know him, you were with him. And then he says, no, I don't know him, right? He gets scared because he's fearful, which was a true fear, right? He could have been arrested too. And so he denies Christ, his best friend, who's done nothing but great things for him, loved him, and denies him before these people because of fear. He realizes what he did later, and he repents. He feels awful. But how many times do we do this in our own life when we're fearful, rather than going with what we know is right and true, even protecting those who we know are good to us, that have never done harm to us, that is in truth and walking in truth? We choose to go the other way because we're afraid. Listen, fear should not derail you from the journey of being honest and standing in integrity. God will always find you successful in that journey. If you are faithful and an honest person, he will have justice for you. But the moment that we're dishonest and we lack integrity and we undermine or we put that person under the bus because we want to get ahead in some way, even though it's wrong, he's not going to bless that path. Anyways, I just want to challenge you. Do what you know is right versus what the crowd is necessarily doing. All right, ciao.